we really say, where's it going to go? Yeah, I mean, the technology is going to be pretty mind-blowing. It's advancing faster than most people realize. So the camera, right, running the video analytics to be able to detect when lights are out, things like spills on the floor. Concierge services, right? When you come into the store and you say, I want to know where the hairspray is. The robot, the waypoint is set up so the robot can show you those aisles. And then also, while he's doing all of these things, then he can also be taking inventory as well.
Welcome to RobotLAB's Breakfast Bytes, where we're going to do a deep dive into the cutting edge of technology. And today we have Rob Salsman, who is responsible for KABAM out of North America. How you doing, Rob?
Doing good, Brian. Thanks for having me here, for sure.
Glad that you were able to come in. Obviously, here at RobotLAB, we are all about technology and getting the technology out. We have worked together for some time. Tell me a little bit about KABAM, who it is, what they do, and how they got here.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that really sets us apart, especially in the security space, is the fact that we are, a well-backed large company in security. We have been making security robotics since 2020. Our CEO was presented with a challenge to come up with a security robot to meet the demands in Singapore. We focus on integration. We have a large amount of engineers that are doing the back-end work and always constantly working to improve the entire product from the hardware to the software.
Looking at KABAM and where your robots are going, what's the most popular industry or vertical that you are currently seeing to security robots?
The ones that are actively, proactively pursuing adopting robots right now is very heavy, like in the hospital space. That's where we see a lot of people reaching out. Clearly municipal spaces, obviously enterprise, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely in any kind of campus scenario where you're going to have multiple parking lots and where you might have security guards where you may have 6 to 9 security guards, now you're going to be able to augment that workforce and give them this tool, the robot, to allow your security guards to be more efficient, cover the entire.
Not only efficient, but can you generate ROI or return on the investment where we're actually saving some money for these end users?
The great thing about these robots is that you're talking about when we work with these people that adopt robots for security guards, you're talking about having the robots that are going to be able to augment the security force, but it doesn't end just there, right? As you well know, like now you're talking about not having to do all the HR functions, the recruiting, the people that come in and they're not doing their jobs, they're watching TikTok or they don't show up, right? Like we eliminate that piece. And so what's really fascinating when you talk about the end user, robotics presents like the first time really in history where we can say it's a win-win-win all the way down the line, and we're not being facetious, right? And I think that when you adopt these robots, on average what we see is generally something like a 70 to 75% savings year over year. When you calculate all of these things, and the training, the recruiting, the management, all of that stuff, it becomes this. And so what happens then is now, because you've saved that, then you're able to upskill your positions, your security positions. And now instead of these people that you're going to pay hourly that you're going to churn through, the good people that in the past might have gotten poached and gone somewhere else, well, now you're upskilling your positions and you're able to pay those people what they're worth to keep them. And really now you've got the best of both worlds, right?
Right. And obviously with robotics, we're dealing with a lot of AI capabilities and functions. How much does that impact the capabilities of the robots and what we're asking them to do?
As we all know, like it's advancing crazy fast, and the robots themselves, this is our KOLAB indoor robot and Halo, the outdoor robot. The robots are the vessels that carry whatever, our intelligence, or, essentially a robot can do anything, So when you talk about the AI models and stuff, that's really the brains. And so that's where our Smart Plus that we have, essentially imbues these with their intelligence, but also because of Smart Plus, because we're device agnostic, we can bring in other robots, so really creating that full ecosystem of robots.
From your perspective, how is the adoption of security robots here in North America in compared to other parts of the world, and where do we fit into that mold, and where's it going?
I think we all know, right, like 5 years ago or so, like when we would talk to security guards or security companies, they assumed we were going to come in and take their jobs. right? And then it's as it's progressed, everyone's kind of realized like, oh, this is just like when the personal computer came out in 1980. Everybody thought that was going to eliminate all the humans, but all it did is just,
Made us
our,
better,
our,
right?
our modern world is all based on that. And so, same thing with robotics. So the adoption rate, I should say, going back to that, is like it's increasing a lot. In the U.S. especially, we're moving into security robots. People ask all the time, why is the adoption rate for those type of robots, so far ahead of where security is, when security robots just make sense? Everyone that sees them, they make sense. And the truth is like we're doing that integration piece. We're building from the ground out. And so when we talk about security robots and security in general, there's 25, 30 years worth of IP infrastructure and security protocols and all of these kind of things that the security robots have to fit into that cleaning robots and delivery robots don't, right? So that's kind of affected the adoption rate. But what I will say, where we focused, where in the past, security robotics, right, they've come in and there's been a roboticist, they come into our industry, security, and they'll say, we can do this better than you've ever done it before. Well, that's not the case, because in security, if these robots don't work with your video management platforms, your access control, and they're not integrated into that entire system, then they're not delivering on what you want from a security robot.
Agreed. And that would probably take me to my next question for you is, robotics often require, are perceived to be a pretty strong investment to get those things going. How can you utilize the technology in these security robots to help counter that perception?
What the customer needs is they need security. They need uptime. It doesn't really matter if it's this you know what I mean? Like the actual way it's being delivered is really irrelevant. The actual product is security, right? And so, we've focused a lot, as you well know, like the security robotics industry, the pricing has, traditionally been extremely high, right? And a lot of that had to do with the fact that those roboticists that were coming in and building robots, it's very complicated. It's roboticists building robots for other roboticists. And as you know, like no end user, no security guard company, like that, not only they not want to invest in the robot, but if they were to do that and take it on themselves and not work with a company like yours, well, then they're going to have to stop down for a year, hire their own technical guys and pay them a lot of money. Like it's just a cost prohibitive investment. So when we talk about how we approach that, really the main goal is what we deliver with our robots is we're trying to demystify this whole process. With ours, you can have the maps and everything up and running just in a matter of minutes and be delivering and showing the ROI to the customer, like what the robot's going to do, like right then. Whereas in the past, it's been a lot of slide decks and all these kind of things, promises.
Pretty complicated.
And promises, as you know, about what robots could do, and never getting around to that piece.
Yep. So looking at it from this perspective, with all of the AI capabilities, whether that's facial recognition, license plate capture, missing person search, ChatGPT-4 built into it so you can have communication with robots. Tell me a good story, success story with KABAM Robotics and how it became a positive footprint going forward.
One of the biggest ones is, especially in retail, if we talk about vertical markets, right? Hospitals, retail, those are really the hot ones.
And they're multi-use. I mean,
Right.
they're going to do more than just security, right?
Exactly. So when the robots are out there, it's going to be, just like you mentioned, the robot's going to be doing its security patrols, but while it's doing its security patrols, and I'm speaking specifically from a case study standpoint, we're talking about a major supermarket chain that we've been working with in Singapore. And so those robots, right, what they're doing is not only doing the security, but they're doing facilities management functions inside the store as well. So the camera, right, running the video analytics to be able to detect when lights are out. These robots can also detect, you can set them up to detect things like spills on the floor. And also in those scenarios, we have the ability for the robot to do concierge services, right? When you come into the store and you say, I want to know where the hairspray is. The waypoint is set up so the robot can show you those aisles. And then also, while he's doing all of these things, then he can also be taking inventory as well.
Right. And with the kiosks, they're built in. You can show a map, they can escort. But there's a lot of different options there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Understanding you, I've known you for, 15, 20 years. You've written books on quantum physics and other things. Obviously, you're a really smart guy. Tell me where do you see it in another 5 years? Where do you see it in another 10 years? Where's it going?
Yeah, straight up. I mean, there's no limit to where this is going. Like just to year ago, or not even that long ago, if you got a detection from the robot, it would just send you a message that says an event happened, right? And then you would click on it and see whatever it is and then determine what to do from that. But what we're seeing, obviously, across the board in security, but especially that we're adding that into the robots, is the capability, like you mentioned, bringing in the AI models into the robot, of being able to detect things, but then being able to add commentary, being able to tell you what's actually going on. Now in the field, already, right? We're at this point, technology-wise, where those security guards that are working in the field can go and talk to the robot and say, go check for a yellow car, go check for a yellow shirt. So then again, you think about it from a person who's not in the security industry, that's a neat trick. But from us, what we know is like, there are companies that have spent millions of dollars developing those types of analytics, and AI just does it.
Right. We've done that with security cameras in previous lives, where as AI came in, we started utilizing some of those tools, stationary cameras, but now we have the capability to put these things in motion where they can let you know, whether through the app, a text message, and the email, or back into your local VMS. The options keep growing, and as time goes on, like you said, it is going to go straight up, especially with the adoption getting stronger and stronger here in North America.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, in terms of like, if we really say where's it going to go, yeah, I mean, the technology is going to be pretty mind-blowing. It's advancing faster than most people realize, just in terms of capabilities. And when we look at down the road and our roadmap and the things that we're working on, I mean, everybody knows the type of robots that are coming out in the world, right? And so, again, for us, having the Smart Plus, being the brains, being the actual thing that's running.
Right.
Right. So
talking about Smart Plus,
yeah.
Just really quick, and just so we're clear to those that are watching, what is Smart Plus? Real quick side story there, just so we understand what.
Yeah, Smart Plus is our robot control program, where you're able to bring in your cameras or access control. Same thing with the robot. So you're able to do fleet management of your robots, set up all the mapping, and everything is done in
It's just
Smart
the all-in-one solution
Right.
to control, set up, manage all those things.
Exactly.
Report writing, all those things are built into it.
Right, and I think you've certainly been in Smart Plus. I use Smart Plus, and safe to say neither of us are technical engineers.
No.
And yet again, going back to like what makes KABAM different and special is like it was developed with the user interface and the user experience in mind.
Right.
So it's
Ease of use is
right,
important.
very intuitive, very point and click, and so that really becomes that. And I think that when you start to put all of this into the plan, when we talk about 5 years from now, well, 5 years from now, I would see that you've got robots working together to do all of your security, right? And the humans become the response force, right? So now we're upskilling those positions. Your security guard person is going to be a tech person, clearly. And then the humans, like, you can think of this almost as like a added bulletproof vest, right? Like, there's no reason a person should be paid $20 an hour to go walk around and be a target, whether that's in front of a school or whatever. That's the job for these robots. And so now you take people who have security and law enforcement backgrounds and all of these that know how to respond to situations. And now we've changed the entire dynamic.
You're giving them all the information they need to
Right.
do their part. Yeah.
Right, and it just takes a lot of the, it's interesting too, because like it eliminates a lot of just human versus human tension, right? So it just really makes everything flow better.
And you hit the point with RobotLAB. Obviously, we're more than just security. Within the security, we got firefighting robots, we've got drones, we've got robot dogs. We have all these other pieces and parts that we can bring into it. But we also have cleaning robots and deliverable robots. We have an entire support team, whether it be the R&D side. We do trainings. We keep everything flowing. How much of an impact does that have with KABAM in our relationship to help better that as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it, right? I mean, because the skills transfer, right? The robotic skills are what's important. And, obviously bringing you in to head up the security piece and really focusing on that, I think rounds you guys out. And the other big thing about, why we wanted to work with RobotLAB is exactly what you said, all of these other robots that you carry, because our long-term vision and focus is to be more than just the robots, but to actually be fleet management and give all the reporting for an end user, whether it's we have deep partnerships with LionsBot and Poodoo and
which are all products we're currently.
Yeah, you're already carrying those. I mean, we work with those people, and so by controlling those and giving fleet management reporting all in one space, that's what people want. That's the product, right? Somebody comes in the day after the night, they want a report on their desk that says how many square feet were cleaned, how many things were made, detections, how many things were detected, right? And with Smart Plus, we put that all in one place.
Perfect. All right, Rob, I really appreciate you taking time to come out and talk with us today. I think we could talk for a couple hours if we had the opportunity. Maybe we'll do this again. But again, thank you for coming out. We appreciate you and KABAM.